Chuck Norris doesn't do push-ups, he does world downs. Jesus may be able to walk on water, but Chuck Norris can fucking swim through land. One time, Chuck Norris kicked a horse in the chin, and its descendants were known as giraffes. Once, Chuck Norris was walking through the desert, and he got bit by a rattlesnake. After 4 excruciating days, the snake finally fucking died. The U.S. government tried to recreate the power of a Chuck Norris roundhouse kick when they created the atomic bomb. They were not successful. Underneath Chuck Norris's beard is another fist. Chuck Norris can cook minute rice in 38 seconds. When Chuck Norris goes to prostitutes, they pay him. Chuck Norris tears can cure cancer. Too bad Chuck Norris has never fucking cried. Children wear superhero pajamas like Superman. Superman wears Chuck Norris pajamas. When the boogeyman goes to bed, he checks in his closet for Chuck Norris. Chuck Norris doesn't read books. He just stares them down until they give him the information he wants. Time waits for no man unless that man is Chuck Norris. They wanted to name a street after Chuck Norris, but they decided not to because no one crosses Chuck Norris and lives. Chuck Norris does not sleep. He waits. Chuck Norris can dribble a bowling ball. Chuck Norris once shot a plane out of the sky by pointing his finger at it and going bang. Children pee their name in the snow. Chuck Norris pees his name into concrete. Chuck Norris can speak Braille. Chuck Norris has counted to infinity twice. Chuck Norris once won a game of Connect 4 with 3 moves. And last but not least, Chuck Norris can slam a revolving door. Chuck Norris has a bearskin rug. It's not dead. It's just afraid to move. Chuck Norris can kill 2 stones with 1 bird. Chuck Norris does not go hunting because hunting implies the possibility of failure. Chuck Norris just goes killing. Chuck Norris makes onions cry. When Chuck Norris stubs his toes, the furniture screams. Chuck Norris once strangled a man with a cordless phone. Chuck Norris once built a snowman out of rain. Chuck Norris once had a heart attack. His heart lost. The only time Chuck Norris has ever been wrong is when he thought he made a mistake. Chuck Norris lost his virginity before his father did. Scientists will never name a hurricane after Chuck Norris because it will destroy everything. Chuck Norris doesn't wear a watch. He just decides what time it is. And finally, the only seasoning that Chuck Norris uses on his steaks is pepper spray. Death once had a near Chuck Norris experience. When Chuck Norris walks into a dark room, he doesn't turn the lights on, he turns the darkness off. Chuck Norris can tie his shoes with his feet. The quickest way to a man's heart is with Chuck Norris's fists. Chuck Norris doesn't get frostbite. Chuck Norris bites the frost. Chuck Norris once played a brick wall in a game of tennis, and he won. Chuck Norris doesn't take showers, he only takes blood baths. When Chuck Norris was born, he slapped the doctor. Scientists say we live in an expanding universe. That's because they're all running in fear from Chuck Norris. Chuck Norris beat the sun in a staring contest. And last but not least, Chuck Norris is the actual person who invented airplanes because he was tired of being the only person that could fly. Chuck Norris can kill your imaginary friends. Chuck Norris is the only man alive who knows Victoria's Secret. Chuck Norris once pissed in the tank of a semi-truck. That truck became Optimus Prime. Chuck Norris built the log cabin he was born in. Chuck Norris can hear sign language. Chuck Norris has never blinked in his entire life. Ever. Chuck Norris doesn't cheat death. He wins fair and square. Chuck Norris sleeps with a pillow under his gun. A bulletproof vest wears Chuck Norris for protection. Chuck Norris once won an underwater breathing contest with a fish. Chuck Norris doesn't believe in the periodic table because the only element Chuck Norris believes in is the element of surprise. Bigfoot once claims that he saw Chuck Norris. Chuck Norris can make a slinky go upstairs. Chuck Norris can squeeze the orange juice out of a lemon. Chuck Norris's cowboy boots are made from real cowboys. When Christopher Columbus discovered America, he was greeted by Chuck Norris. Chuck Norris once ate at Taco Bell and didn't get diarrhea. And finally, Chuck Norris can have both feet firmly planted on the ground and still kick your ass.